What's up, guys? We're back here for part 3 of this how to read architectural drawings. We've been looking at a little bit of everything in the architectural, this one particular sheet on the first floor, and it's been taking us a few different places, but I wanted to kind of wrap up this short mini series, if you will, and just kind of look at some things that I think would be valuable for you to know before we end this series. Now, I'm on this cover sheet again, and by the way, if you didn't watch the video about how to read a cover sheet, you should spend a couple of minutes and watch that. But what I'm going to go over here is kind of more of the labels. Now that we've been looking at drawings, we've seen some of these come up. So we've seen the wall type, the diamond, typical diamond with the alphanumeric letter. That's typical for a wall type. The diamond and the alphanumeric lettering. All right. And then you have just a square with the numbers, not necessarily 2 numbers, but a certain amount of numbers. That is going to be for your frames, your door frames. And then you have your doors, your actual doors. That's how those are identified, normally with a circle. And then you have your room numbers. So let's now go back to the sheet and talk about those a little bit more. All right, so back on the partial first floor plan, let's identify some of these that we're just seeing. I see some new ones here that that weren't on there, but you can see right now this is the room number, conference room, again with the square, or rectangle actually, and then you have your doors right there. These are your wall types. Now note, different lettering for the wall types mean it's a whole different assembly. So you're going to want to find the wall schedule and look at the different wall types. And we'll do that in a different video. But you also have here SF13. SF stands for storefront. So storefront 6 is what we have here. We'll probably dig more into the actual schedules and the details of the wall types and the storefronts, but for now we're just going to keep it at a level where we're just going to look at the elevations, go around the building, look at the elevations, and again, from an estimating standpoint, show you what I would be looking at. All right, so we're going to A-2.2H, and there's also a G18, so those are on the same drawing. So it'll be interesting to see like why there are two. Apparently, okay, so one is a partial and one is an overall. All right, so similar to the floor plan, you also have overall elevations, and so it's pretty obvious that this is from G18, which is below, it's at that match line to that point, and then on D18 it's at the match line to that point. We talked about match lines also. Those are not the same as these lines, these section cuts. These are lines just letting you know where the drawing is broken up. And so we can scroll down here to G18, and this is our match line matched up with that. So I want to know, first of all, how tall is the building? Now, I already know that, but the height of the building is also shown here. And so you can see that from the first floor to the bottom of the second floor, like the slab of the or actually the top of the floor is 14 foot 8 inches. So 14 feet. Imagine that, 14 feet in the air. That is how tall it is. Now it looks like right out here there's some sort of a railing. Is that? It looks like it's some sort of a railing on top of. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, it does say a railing system. Why there's a railing system out there when I'm not actually seeing any way to get out there, I don't know. But there's probably a door right here that we can't see from this angle. And that's probably why there's a light right there too. So that we're just going to say that's what's going on. Now, here we go. SF12A. So again, this is the storefront. This is the storefront. And storefronts, you know what those are. You see them all the time, different stores if you go out. So that's what that is. That's a storefront. And now we can see that to the top of the building is 35 feet. So that's another thing I would want to know. And the reason you want to know that is, you know, as an estimator, when you're looking at, when you're looking to quantify and looking to give an estimate to an owner or somebody, you want to also consider labor. And so when you're, for instance, laying a brick wall from, you know, that you can use a small scaffold, kind of a rolling scaffold. Well, you know, it would not be so labor intensive. But once you start talking about getting 35 feet into the air, you're talking about a whole lot that's got to happen to ensure safety. You're even talking about maybe you have to have a safety person there, you know, on site as you're on the scaffold that the guys are using. Also needs to be inspected. The scaffold needs to be rented. But here we can see some of the finishes that are happening along the roof. There's a pre-finished metal coping. All right. And then there are, okay, that's talking about the brick color, but there's also a pre-finished metal panel. So here you have a pre-finished metal panel, type 2 and color 3. So these may be multicolored metal panels. And again, metal panels is something that we see typically out in the world today. So you will know how those look. Here's another label here for something, and it has that same diamond shape, or not a diamond. This is a, let's see, a hexagon. Yeah, hexagon. So with the hexagon, you can see CW1A. CW, I can tell you, stands for curtain wall, because it says it right here, pre-finished aluminum curtain wall system. So again, this is a type of glass. So you're kind of seeing the patterns here with some of these symbols. All right, going along here, anti-graffiti coating up to 10 feet above finished floor, typical. So now this is a major note. This is a major note. You need to make sure that you're including whatever material and labor is involved with making sure that up to 10 foot of anti-graffiti coating goes over this masonry. So this is the world we live in today, guys. We need to have anti-graffiti. No, actually, I wish that's all we had to worry about. So, all right. I don't know. I mean, that's pretty good. A lot of these might sound redundant. Let's see if there's anything interesting. So there's a downspout to boot at grade. All right. So that is through wall scupper and conductor box. All right, so this is going to catch water. It's going to come down there, and there's a boot at grade. So I don't know if you can see it, but the boot basically is inside this column, and it's a little hole opening right there for all the water to, you know, leave. Okay, so let's kind of close it out here looking at the elevation notes. So we looked at some notes. If you watched, I think that was part 1. We looked at some general notes, but now we have elevation notes. So pay attention to these different kinds of notes. You have notes on different kinds of drawings. There's structural notes. There's, you know, there's notes for finishes, and all different types of things. So a few that we may look at. We pull a couple out. All right, here's one right here. This one is a big one for your painter. Make sure he knows. And if you are a painter, make sure you know. All exterior exposed steel to be field painted unless noted otherwise. Color to be selected by the architect. Now, field painted means that this is something that's going to be painted on the job site. Some things are pre-finished. That means that they come onto the job site already painted or whatever kind of finish. So it is telling you here that all exposed steel needs to be field painted unless noted otherwise. So what do they mean, exposed steel? Let's go dig into this. All right, I just want to identify one area where there could be exposed steel. And I think I see it here if I'm correct. This could be exposed steel in the stairwell, meaning that when you're in the stairwell and you look up, oh, wow, there's a piece of steel running across there. So all they're wanting to make sure is that this gets painted so that it looks kind of nice. Now, I'm not actually sure that this is exposed steel because I didn't dig into it that much, but you could see some steel, exposed steel in a stairwell. So, well, guys, I think we've reached the end of this series as far as how to read architectural drawings. I've actually ended up on the reflected ceiling plan, and I do probably want to come back and hit this in another video. Maybe I'll do a series on finishes, different ceiling finishes, wall finishes, whatever, flooring finishes, all different types of things. But let me know if you're getting something out of the videos. Again, if you have questions, I'm happy to help. And, maybe, I don't know. All right, peace out, guys.